Imagine a silent formation of 9 unknown objects gliding through our solar system, following an interstellar visitor at speeds that defy cosmic norms. That's exactly what has amateur astronomers and some leading physicists on edge. On July 1, 2025, a Chilean observatory detected 3I Atlas, our third confirmed interstellar object, after Oumuamua and 2I Borisov. But this time, something is disturbingly different. Multiple observers are now reporting synchronized light points tracking alongside 3I Atlas like a fleet of tiny satellites. Some claim these points aren't just debris or dust. They might be probes, each emitting enough energy to power entire nations. Is it possible that we are not watching a lone traveler, but a convoy of intelligently controlled crafts cutting through our celestial backyard? The idea sounds like science fiction, but the implications are too provocative to ignore. Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb, known for challenging scientific taboos, has previously proposed that 3I Atlas could be more than a comet, that its unusual trajectory and light reflections don't match natural models. Now, with 9 strange companions appearing in its wake, the theory is evolving. Are we witnessing the first visible signs of extraterrestrial reconnaissance? Or are we simply misinterpreting a spectacular but natural cosmic event? Loeb doesn't claim certainty, far from it. What he urges is caution and open-mindedness. In a universe this vast, dismissing the improbable without investigation is a form of blindness. Still, the buzz around these escort objects is growing by the hour. Amateur astronomers across the globe report flickering points trailing behind 3I Atlas, each moving in unison with the main body. Screenshots and telescope footage are circulating through forums, sparking rampant speculation. No official space agency, neither NASA nor ESA, has confirmed these sightings. But in an age where citizen science often outpaces institutional reporting, many are asking what's taking so long. Could these signals be dismissed too quickly, or are we looking too eagerly for patterns in noise? The reality may be stranger or simpler than it appears. One thing is clear: Atlas is not behaving like a typical comet. And if the lights are real, synchronized, and intelligent, we might be at the threshold of the most important discovery in human history. But before jumping to conclusions, we need to examine the evidence more critically. What do we really know about these supposed mini-objects, and what is still buried in speculation? If they're real, why hasn't a single government telescope publicly verified their presence? And if they're not real, why do so many independent observers report seeing the same thing? This video dives deep into what's been observed, what can be confirmed, and what might be a cleverly disguised anomaly or an overactive imagination. Because whether we're looking at alien drones, comet fragments, or optical illusions, one fact remains. Atlas is not just a rock in space. It's a mystery accelerating through our system, dragging bigger questions in its wake. And somewhere in those questions may lie the answer to whether we are truly alone, or if something or someone is already watching. To understand the gravity of these claims, we need to strip back the noise and focus on the measurable anomalies surrounding 3I Atlas. First, its speed exceeding 60 kilometers per second. The Atlas is moving far too fast to have originated from within our solar system, or to be captured by the sun's gravitational field. Like a cosmic arrow, it's slicing through our planetary neighborhood on a one-way trajectory. Second, the object's light signature. Spectroscopic analysis reveals something unusual: fluctuations in brightness that don't align neatly with what we'd expect from standard cometary behavior, while rotation and irregular surface reflections can explain some variance. 3I Atlas displays erratic flashes that hint at something more complex. One hypothesis, the unstable outgassing. Another, more speculative, artificial modulation, perhaps even energy emissions. Harvard's Avi Loeb remains cautious, but persistent. He draws attention to the high reflectivity and structured trajectory of the object, noting that natural comets tend to tumble unpredictably. 3 Atlas, by contrast, exhibits a steadier movement more akin to a guided course than a chaotic drift. And then there's the matter of its green flash. Observations from the James Webb Space Telescope recorded a shift in the comet's hue from reddish to intense green. While solar radiation interacting with diatomic carbon could explain the color transition, the intensity and abruptness of the change have left even seasoned astronomers scratching their heads. It's this kind of irregularity that fuels the alien hypothesis, not as a certainty, but as an open question worth investigating. But what about the so-called escorts, the 9 flickering points reportedly traveling with the object? Here, the debate splits sharply. Videos posted by amateur astronomers show synchronized light dots trailing 3I Atlas over several days. Some even claim to have measured energy outputs up to 20 gigawatts per object, a figure so large it borders on absurd equivalent to the combined output of nearly 20 nuclear power plants. For such a tiny mass, reportedly the size of a family home, this level of energy defies all known laws of physics. No Earth-based reactor comes close to achieving that energy density, let alone a mobile house-sized object. Which leads us to the real dilemma. Are these claims the result of overinterpreted visual artifacts? Or is there a technological mechanism we simply don't yet understand? It's important to recognize that no peer-reviewed publication has confirmed the existence of these smaller companions. No spectrometric data. No orbital path triangulation. Nothing from NASA, the ESA, or ground-based observatories. What we have are low-resolution screenshots, forum posts, and speculation. Still, as history has shown from pulsars to dark matter, many of the cosmos's most groundbreaking discoveries began as oddities on the edge of credibility. So while science urges skepticism, it also demands curiosity. Are we seeing probes, debris, or noise? Without official confirmation, the truth remains out of reach. But public interest and scientific tension continues to grow. The tension surrounding 3I Atlas is not just about what we see. It's about how we choose to interpret it. In the absence of hard institutional data, the field has become a battlefield of theories. On one side stand skeptics who argue that the so-called escort objects are nothing more than optical illusions, artifacts caused by fast-moving bodies confusing low-resolution equipment. They point out that image sensors can easily produce trailing dots, ghost reflections, and noise patterns when tracking high-velocity objects across a star field. But even among skeptics, there's an unease. Why are so many different observers from unrelated locations reporting the same synchronized patterns? Why do these lights appear to move in perfect alignment with 3I Atlas? Maintaining relative position for days at a time, that's not typical of visual distortion or random reflections. It's consistent with formation flight. This has led some scientists to propose an alternative theory: gravitational clustering. Perhaps what we're witnessing is a loose swarm of debris ejected from the interstellar object itself, loosely bound by gravitational or electrostatic forces, giving the illusion of synchronization. But even this model has problems. The objects, if we assume they exist, appear to move with unusual consistency, defying the chaotic behavior typically associated with disintegrating comets or gas-emitting bodies. Others have explored magnetic tethering, a phenomenon theorized in advanced propulsion concepts. Could 3I Atlas be interacting with the solar wind in such a way that it naturally forms plasma companions through electromagnetic fields? The idea stretches known physics, but isn't beyond the realm of exotic research. And then, of course, there's the most controversial possibility: intelligence. Not necessarily little green men, but the notion that we are observing a machine, possibly ancient, possibly defunct, that was engineered to explore. The idea of self-replicating probes, or von Neumann machines, has long been discussed in astrobiology. If such probes were launched eons ago from a distant civilization and designed to explore galactic environments autonomously, could 3I Atlas be one of them, or a piece of one? This is where the interstellar object crosses into philosophical territory. If even one of these escort bodies were proven to be artificial, it would rewrite not just our understanding of space, but of life itself. It would confirm that intelligence has emerged elsewhere in the universe, and that it has reached us not through communication, but through a silent observational presence. It would mean we are not the discoverers, but the discovered. That possibility is precisely why so many institutions remain publicly silent. To confirm or even seriously explore such a theory would require unambiguous data that is currently lacking. But the silence itself becomes part of the story. In the absence of a public statement from NASA or ESA, conspiracy theories flourish. Some suggest data suppression. Others suspect internal debates within scientific agencies, unsure of how to present such radical findings without causing public unrest or scientific backlash. Still, the raw truth may be simpler and more sobering. The scientific method demands rigor, and until multiple observatories cross-verify the phenomenon, no credible institution will risk reputation on speculative claims. Meanwhile, citizen astronomers continue pointing their telescopes skyward, hoping to capture clearer evidence. For them, represents more than a comet. It's a puzzle that won't be ignored. And perhaps this is the new paradigm of discovery. In an age of decentralized information, where amateur tools rival professional gear from just 2 decades ago, the first hints of extraterrestrial presence may not come from a press conference, but from a quiet, grainy video uploaded by a backyard observer. So the debate rages on. Are we seeing the birth of a historic revelation, or the viral illusion of the decade? With all the noise, speculation, and scattered observations, what do we actually know for sure about 3I Atlas? First, its interstellar origin is beyond doubt. Based on trajectory modeling, it entered our solar system at such high speed and such a steep hyperbolic path that no gravitational influence from any known planet could have launched it, like Oumuamua and 2I Borisov before it. It's an alien, not in the science fiction sense, but in the astronomical one, a true foreigner from outside our solar system. Second, its composition is deeply intriguing. Spectral data reveals traces of carbon monoxide, nickel, and various metal signatures rarely seen in typical solar system comets. But what has really caught scientists off guard is the unusual ratio of water vapor to carbon dioxide in its coma. Unlike local comets where the water to CO2 balance is relatively stable and predictable, 3I Atlas contains significantly more CO2. This imbalance suggests it formed in a very different environment, likely one shaped by completely distinct chemical and thermal conditions in another star system. Then there's the green flash. Captured by the James Webb Space Telescope, the comet suddenly shifted from a reddish hue to an intense glowing green. Scientists attribute this to the breakdown of dicarbon molecules under solar radiation, a known but rare process. Still, The rapidity and brightness of the change remain puzzling, and some observers claim it coincides suspiciously with reports of the 9 trailing objects. Lastly, its tail. While most comet tails are narrow and well-defined, 3I Atlas exhibits a broad, diffuse structure, an unstructured curtain of particles that shifts and fans out unpredictably. This may be due to its exceptional speed, which alters the way solar wind interacts with the dust cloud. But it could also be related to unknown structural elements or disintegration patterns. Regardless of whether the escorts are real probes, mere noise, or debris, the comet's behavior remains a treasure trove for science. In fact, the closest thing we have to a sample return mission from another star system. Each molecule it sheds into space offers insights into the conditions of a distant cosmic origin, one we may never physically reach, but can now study molecule by molecule as the comet tears through our skies. And yet, as with all celestial anomalies, we are left with more questions than answers. Why does this interstellar object differ so dramatically from the previous 2? Could its strangeness be a statistical outlier? Or is it the first of many odd visitors to come? If we begin to detect more objects like it, with even more bizarre behaviors or unexplained companions, will the scientific community begin to reframe what qualifies as natural? Or will the stigma of discussing non-human intelligence continue to hold back open inquiry? In the end, Atlas reminds us that the universe doesn't need to announce its mysteries. It simply sends them our way, unexplained, untamed, and indifferent to whether we are ready. But the real question now is, are we